Chosen one, lean in for a moment because what I'm about to speak will echo in the deepest corridors of your spirit. Something in your life has been shifting quietly, subtly, almost secretly. And you felt it not with your physical senses, but with that inner knowing that refuses to be silenced. You've been walking through a season where everything about you felt hidden, unseen, tucked away behind curtains no one else could pull back. It was as if God placed you in a chamber where your voice was softened, your light was dimmed, and your movement was restricted. And yet, something inside you never stopped burning. You tried to stay quiet, but destiny kept tapping on the walls of your soul. You tried to remain small, but something holy inside you kept stretching. You tried to disappear, but heaven refused to let you fade. There has been a stirring, an invisible awakening, like the slow rise of a dawn that refuses to stay behind the horizon. You felt it in the tension. You felt it in the restlessness. You felt it in moments when you could not explain why your heart suddenly felt heavier, louder, more alive. Because the season you've been living in was never meant to last forever. And now in this divine moment, there is a proclamation rising over your life. A decree that has been waiting for its appointed hour. A word that heaven has held in reserve until your spirit was mature enough to receive it. Your season of hiding ends now. Not gradually, not eventually, but decisively. God is calling you out of the shadows you didn't choose but needed. He's pulling you out of the caves where your identity was sharpened. He is bringing you out of the wilderness that shaped your strength in silence. And with the authority of heaven, He is declaring over you, stand forth. Something in you is about to emerge in a way it never has before. The parts of you that were overlooked are about to be highlighted. The gifts you thought were dormant are about to be awakened. The purpose that felt paused is about to accelerate with startling clarity. You are stepping into a moment where your life will no longer fit behind the veil that once protected you. What once hid you is now too small to contain you. And deep inside you can already sense it, the rise, the fire, the pull, the calling. Stay with me, because what comes next will explain why God hid you and why He is revealing you now. And as this unveiling continues, feel the weight of what is happening within you. This is more than emotion, more than intuition, more than a motivational rise. There is a divine hand moving over your life, steady and intentional, guiding you toward a moment that heaven has been preparing long before you ever recognized it. What you are sensing right now is not just transition. It is announcement. For there are seasons when God whispers and seasons when God thunders. And you have stepped into a moment where His voice is clearing the atmosphere around you. You are not hearing echoes of your own desire. You are hearing the resonance of a higher realm calling your name. This message does not come from human insight, nor is it birthed from coincidence. It carries the signature of the one who formed you in secret and knew your path before you ever walked it. He has watched every silent battle. He has measured every unseen tear. He has recorded every moment you chose faith when nobody was watching. And now, with deliberate tenderness and authority, He is drawing near to speak. You were hidden because God Himself placed a covering over you. You were concealed because your spirit was too precious to be mishandled in its early stages. You were tucked away because your destiny was being shielded from premature exposure. The silence you endured was not divine neglect. It was divine preservation. But preservation eventually becomes preparation, and preparation eventually becomes revelation. God is not simply ending a season in your life. He is unveiling an identity He has been cultivating in the shadows. You have been in the potter's hands, shaped by pressures no one else could interpret. And while the world saw stillness, heaven saw formation. While others assumed inactivity, God saw refinement. Every moment of delay was a deliberate part of the divine strategy. This is why the message coming forth now carries such gravity. Heaven does not release a word lightly. And when God says, "Stand forth," it is because the time has been sanctified, the moment has been chosen, and the path has been cleared in the unseen. Hear this with your spirit. This calling is not emerging from your ambition. It is rising because God has spoken. This shift is not the product of circumstance. It is the orchestration of divine timing. This awakening is not your imagination. It is the stirring of purpose, reaching maturity. The one who hid you is the one revealing you. The one who kept you unknown is the one announcing you. The one who allowed the quiet is the one commanding your rise. And when heaven issues a command, creation responds. You are not stepping forward alone. You are stepping forward with the backing of the one who authored your destiny. His voice is the foundation beneath your feet. His breath is the wind behind your movement. His hand is the force opening the door you are being called to walk through. And as His word rests upon you in this moment, understand this: what is being revealed in your life next is not random. It is not accidental. It is not fragile. It is divine. Stay close, because now we move deeper into the heart of the message. The part where heaven unveils exactly what God is releasing you into, and why your season of hiding had to end the way it did. What is unfolding in your life now carries the tone of revelation, the kind that doesn't come in whispers, but in waves. Something long awaited, long gestating, long protected is stepping out of the invisible and into the realm of sight. You can almost feel the atmosphere around your life thickening, as though creation itself is bracing for your emergence. This is no ordinary moment. This is a divine unveiling. For there are times when God keeps you hidden so He can shape the foundation of who you are. But there comes a moment when the shaping is complete enough for the unveiling to begin. That moment has come. You have reached the threshold where heaven says, "Reveal what has been concealed." Your season of obscurity held purpose, but it no longer fits the assignment God has placed upon you. You are being called forth because something God planted in you has reached its appointed time to rise. The prophecy behind this moment is not about fame, attention, or external recognition. It is about fulfillment. It is about positioning. It is about divine alignment. God is drawing you out, not for the world to notice you, but for destiny to locate you. For the calling on your life cannot remain dormant any longer. What has been sealed is being opened. What has been restrained is being released. In the Spirit, it resembles a scroll being unrolled. A document long stored away, waiting for the hour when heaven would say, "Now." Its seals break with a sound only your spirit can hear. Its words glow with purpose written before time. And as it opens, you discover that what you thought was delay was actually divine pacing. What you called silence was actually strategy. What felt like hiding was God writing the next chapter of your life in ink that only revelation can reveal. You are stepping into a time when the weight you carry will begin to shine. The gifts that felt dormant will stir like embers catching divine wind. The identity that once felt uncertain will begin to crystallize with clarity. What once felt like wandering will suddenly feel intentional, guided, and aligned. The prophecy is this: God is positioning you to stand forth because what He placed inside you is needed now. Not tomorrow, not in another season, now. There is a vacancy in the realm of purpose that only your presence can fill. There is a spiritual gap shaped exactly to your calling. There are assignments waiting for your voice, your hands, your obedience. Heaven has waited for this moment because your character had to be strengthened enough to carry what is being entrusted to you. You were hidden, so the wrong eyes wouldn't claim ownership of your gift. You were held back so premature opportunities wouldn't corrupt your purpose. You were isolated so God could speak to you without interference. You were anointed in silence so your foundation would be unshakable when you stepped forward. This unveiling will not be loud at first. It will begin with a shift inside you, a clarity, a boldness, a certainty that wasn't there before. Then you will see doors open that were once sealed, not because you forced them, but because heaven unlocked them. You will notice connections aligning in ways that feel orchestrated rather than coincidental. And you will feel an acceleration you cannot attribute to your own efforts. The prophecy carries this truth. When God ends a hiding season, He releases a revealing season. What was covered becomes called. What was silenced becomes amplified. What was waiting becomes awakened. And though this revealing may feel unfamiliar or even overwhelming, it will also feel right. Your spirit will recognize it as the moment you were built for, not because everything is perfect, but because the timing is divine. God is not asking you to stand forth in your own strength. He is calling you to stand forth in the strength He established within you during your hidden years. Every hardship, every quiet night, every unanswered question was part of this unveiling. You are stepping into a prophetic moment where heaven's intention and your identity finally meet. Hold this close because in the next part, we will go deeper into the spiritual meaning behind this revelation. Why God hid you, why He is revealing you now, and what this transition truly signifies in the unseen. What you are experiencing now is not just a personal shift. It is a spiritual phenomenon that follows a pattern woven throughout divine history. Every chosen vessel, every anointed life, every destiny-marked individual has gone through a season of hiding before a season of revealing. This rhythm is not accidental. It is intentional, sacred, and deeply rooted in the way God prepares a life for impact. To understand the unveiling you are stepping into, you must first understand the spiritual architecture behind it. Hiding is not stagnation. Hiding is incubation. Just as a seed must disappear beneath the soil before it ever breaks into the realm of sight, you too were placed beneath the surface of visibility so that what God planted in you could take root. The darkness of your hidden season was not the darkness of abandonment, but the darkness of formation. A seed does its deepest work in a place where no one applauds, no one observes, and no one interferes. The quiet you endured was the cocoon for your transformation. This is why your emergence now carries such weight. The deeper the root, the stronger the rise. Your hidden season created fortitude. It stretched you. It refined you. It burned away the impurities that could not sustain the level you are stepping into. You learned to hear God without noise. You learned to follow His leading without crowds. You learned to grow without validation. And these lessons created a foundation that revelation cannot shake. Spiritually, this transition resembles the opening of a new spiritual gate. For every destiny-shifting season, there is a gate, an invisible threshold, where one era closes and another begins. You are standing at such a gate right now. Behind you lies the pathway of pruning pressure and preparation. Ahead of you lies the pathway of purpose, influence, and divine momentum. The gate swings open only when the timing is perfected, the heart is calibrated, and the spirit is fortified. Your season of hiding was the refining fire that made this gate possible. Think of the storms you endured. They were not punishments. They were purifications. Storms come to strip away what cannot stand in the next chapter. Winds come to remove foundations built on fear or insecurity. Floods come to wash away attachments that kept you small. Every storm that hit your life served a divine purpose to leave standing only what was truly you. This unveiling is also tied to the movement of seasons within your spirit. You have been living in a spiritual winter quiet, cold, still isolated. Winter is where God conserves your strength. Winter is where He whispers secrets that only grow roots in silence. Winter is where visions are planted, not performed. But the shift you feel now is the thaw of spring, beginning to melt the frost around your destiny. What once felt frozen is beginning to move. What once felt still is beginning to stir. Spring in the spirit is not gentle. It is powerful. Buds break through bark. Soil cracks open to release new life. Rivers swell with momentum. Everything expands because expansion is the law of the season. You are in that expansion now. To step forth is to step into alignment. Alignment is not simply movement. It is synchronized movement. When God calls you to stand forth, it is because heaven and earth have aligned in your favor. Opportunities begin to align. Encounters begin to align. Strength begins to align. Even your identity shifts into alignment with who you were always meant to be. In your hidden season, you often felt misplaced, out of sync, out of rhythm. Nothing seemed to fit. That was because you were not meant to fit into the environments you had outgrown. But in this revealing season, you will feel something new, a sense of divine coordination, where events unfold in ways that feel orchestrated rather than improvised. This is the deeper spiritual meaning God is shifting you from cultivation to activation, from formation to function, from preparation to purpose. Your unveiling is a signal to the spiritual realm that you are ready to carry what once would have crushed you, ready to walk in assignments that once would have overwhelmed you, ready to stand in authority that once would have intimidated you. Another layer of depth lies in the symbolism of doors. You are moving from a closed-door season into an open-door mandate. Closed doors in your past were not rejections. They were redirections. They were divine boundaries protecting you from stepping into spaces prematurely. An open door, however, is a divine invitation. It is not just opportunity, it is authorization. When God opens a door, no force in earth or hell can shut it. Your unveiling is God placing His hand on a door and saying, "This one is for you." Lastly, understand this. Your emergence is not just about what you will do. It is about who you are becoming. In every spiritual transition, identity is the real transformation. Before purpose evolves, the person must evolve. Before the path changes, the heart must change. You are not just stepping into a new assignment. You are stepping into a new version of yourself. Stronger, wiser, clearer, more anchored, and more awakened. And now that the meaning is clear, we move into the signs, those subtle, powerful indicators that reveal this unveiling has already begun. If you listen closely, not with your ears but with your spirit, you will recognize that the evidence of this unveiling has already begun to surface in your life. God never shifts a person into a new season without first sending signs, small yet powerful indicators, that something in the unseen has moved. These signs appear like gentle ripples before the wave, like whispers before the announcement, like sparks before the flame. And you may realize that many of them have already been unfolding around you. Sign 1. A sudden restlessness in your spirit. You have felt it, the quiet discomfort that settled into your heart without warning. Not anxiety, not fear, but an inner stirring as if your spirit is stretching towards something you cannot yet name. This restlessness is divine agitation. It is heaven's way of telling you, you cannot stay where you've been. Movement is coming. You've tried to shake it off, but it keeps returning, pulling you toward alignment. Sign 2. A growing disinterest in what once satisfied you. The things that used to entertain you no longer hold your attention. The environments you once tolerated now feel too small. Conversations that once felt comfortable now feel draining. This is because your spirit is outgrowing the spaces that kept you hidden. God is loosening your attachment to anything that would hinder your rise. When heaven prepares you for unveiling, it detaches you from what is beneath your calling. Sign 3. Doors closing without explanation. Opportunities that seemed promising suddenly evaporated. People you depended on drifted away. Plans that once felt certain fell apart. It confused you at first, even hurt you. But now you are beginning to see the pattern. God has been closing every door that would have kept you planted in a season meant to end. Closed doors are not punishment. They are protection. You were being guided away from what would not support your emergence. Sign 4. A noticeable increase in spiritual sensitivity. Your discernment feels sharper. Your dreams feel more vivid. Your awareness of God's presence feels heightened. It's as if your spirit has been tuned to a new frequency. This is not coincidence. It is preparation. God sharpens your spiritual senses before He sends you into new territory. He does not allow you to step forth without equipping you to perceive what is ahead. Sign 5. Unexpected courage rising within you. There is a boldness forming inside you that doesn't match your circumstances. Even in moments of uncertainty, you feel a quiet confidence emerging. It feels new, almost unfamiliar, yet deeply authentic. This courage is the evidence of divine empowerment. God has been strengthening your internal structures so that when you stand forth, you do so with authority, not hesitation. Sign 6. A sense that your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. You may not see it yet, but heaven has begun aligning voices, opportunities, and connections that will be part of your revealing. You are being mentioned, considered, and positioned in ways hidden from your sight. This inner nudge, that feeling that something is preparing to break open, is heaven signaling that your unveiling has already begun in the unseen. These signs are not random. They are confirmation that the soil beneath your life has shifted. Your internal world is matching your external calling. Heaven is synchronizing your spirit with your assignment. But before the unveiling manifests fully, there are challenges necessary, refining challenges that accompany every ascension. And understanding them will help you endure with strength and clarity. Before the fullness of your unveiling comes into sight, there are challenges that arise, quiet, subtle, often misunderstood. These challenges are not signs of failure or punishment. They are signs of transition. They appear when heaven is adjusting your internal foundations to match the external calling you are about to step into. And although these challenges may feel heavy, they are divine training grounds, preparing you for the weight of what is coming. One hidden challenge you may already be facing is internal resistance. Not resistance from the world around you, but from parts of yourself still healing, still adjusting, still learning to trust what God is awakening in you. You feel the calling pulling you forward and the old familiar patterns tugging you backward. This tension is normal. When God elevates you, your spirit expands faster than your mind can interpret. The discomfort you feel inside is evidence that you are outgrowing who you used to be. Another challenge is unexpected isolation. Even as God ends your season of hiding, you may notice moments of sudden loneliness. People who once walked closely may drift. Connections that once felt natural now feel forced. This is because God is removing voices that cannot accompany you into your revealing. The silence around you is not emptiness. It is sacred space. God often clears the environment before He announces your arrival. A third challenge comes in the form of spiritual resistance. As you approach your unveiling, the enemy becomes aware of the shift. Attacks may increase. Old temptations may resurface. Unexpected discouragement may appear out of nowhere. This is not because you are weak, but because you are stepping into a realm that threatens darkness. The pressure you feel is not a sign to retreat. It is proof that you are moving in the right direction. Heaven strengthens those whom hell opposes. There is also the challenge of impatience and confusion. Your spirit senses acceleration, yet your circumstances still look unchanged. You feel movement internally, but nothing seems to be moving externally. This mismatch can create frustration. But understand the spiritual realm shifts before the physical does. When you sense the change, but do not yet see it, it means the manifestation is near. You are standing in the tension between prophecy and fulfillment. And then perhaps the hardest challenge of all, letting go of the version of yourself that survived the hidden season. You learned resilience there. You learned silence there. You learned obedience there. But now God is calling you to step forth with a different posture, boldness instead of caution, authority instead of withdrawal, visibility instead of invisibility. Shedding your old identity can feel like losing a part of yourself, but it is actually making room for the part of you that was always destined to rise. These challenges are not meant to break you, but to build you. They are indicators that heaven is preparing you to carry more than you ever have. God does not expose you until you are fortified. He does not reveal you until you are strengthened. The challenges you face now are confirmation that you are nearing the moment of activation. And this is where the journey shifts into clarity, because God will never call you forward without giving you divine instruction for the path ahead. As you navigate the challenges that accompany your emergence, understand this. God never calls someone forth without giving them the instructions needed to walk the path with confidence. The unveiling ahead of you is not meant to be stumbled into. It is meant to be stepped into with intention, awareness, and spiritual readiness. Heaven does not simply release you, heaven equips you. And so, as this new season begins to open before you listen closely to the instructions being placed upon your spirit, they may feel simple at first, but their power is profound. They are not suggestions. They are strategies. They are the keys that unlock clarity, strength, and alignment. Instruction 1. Strengthen the voice within you. For too long, the hidden season trained you to stay quiet, to dim your presence, to shrink your expression. But the unveiling requires a different posture. God is calling you to speak with clarity and stand with certainty. This is the time to reclaim your internal voice, the one that was muted by disappointment, pressure, or fear. Begin to affirm who you are becoming. Begin to speak life over what God is awakening in you. Your voice is a spiritual instrument, and heaven is tuning it for purpose. Instruction 2. Release what no longer aligns. This is not a season to drag the past into the future. Certain habits, mindsets, and relationships were only meant for your hidden years. Keeping them now would weigh you down. God is instructing you to let go gently, intentionally, and without resentment. Release the spaces where you dimmed yourself. Release the people who were only assigned to your previous chapter. Release the expectations that kept you small. Your destiny is too expansive to be anchored to what cannot follow you. Instruction 3. Guard your spiritual atmosphere. As God brings you into visibility, you must protect your inner world. Not every voice deserves access to your spirit. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Not every environment is safe for the version of you that is rising. Create boundaries that honor your calling. Surround yourself with the presence of God. Stay connected to what nourishes your soul. Keep distractions at a distance. Your atmosphere determines your clarity. Instruction 4. Walk in obedience even when the path is unclear. God's instructions rarely arrive with detailed maps. Instead, they come as steps one at a time, each one unlocking the next. The unveiling season requires trust. You may not see the full picture, but you will always have enough light for the next step. Move when God nudges you. Speak when He prompts you. Prepare when He stirs you. Destiny does not unfold through certainty. It unfolds through obedience. Instruction 5. Prepare your gift. The calling on your life is awakening, and God is urging you to refine what He has placed within you. If your gift is speaking, strengthen your voice. If it is writing, sharpen your words. If it is leadership, cultivate wisdom. If it is creative, expand your skill. You are not preparing out of pressure, you are preparing out of prophecy. God is not asking you to be perfect, He is asking you to be ready. Instruction 6. Step forward without apology.